Here at Gundam Planet, we're all about the classics. And as far as I know, it doesn't really get much more classic than this right here. This is the RX-78-2 Gundam. And what's special about this one is that it's a robot spirit that is designed after the original proportions that you would see in the original Gundam show. And it's called the RX-78-2 Gundam A.N.I.M.E, which stands for Action, New, Imagination, Memory, Emotion. I don't really know what any of that means, but I think it just means that they try to force an acronym for anime. So that, I guess they did it. That it does stand for anime. But basically what this thing is it takes what the original Gundam looked like and tried to create a figure out of it. And I really think they pulled it off, because this thing looks stellar, and they definitely nailed those proportions. And with me, I don't really get into robot spirits that much. It's never really been my thing, but this got me really excited, because I'm a big fan of the Gundam anime, and it's pretty much why I'm interested in Gundam in the first place. So having a figure based off the way it actually looks in the show is really exciting to me. And also, it's just like, with the way the hands work and the way it's overall designed, it feels more like a figure of a character rather than it does feel like a robot toy. It's just kind of like a whole different way of looking at it, because when making a figure based off of the way it looked in the anime, you're not necessarily trying to create a realistic looking robot, which most of the modern model kits and robot spirits try to do. And that, honestly, is way more exciting to me than a regular robot spirit. So we're going to get right in there and show you all of the different types of articulation and detail on this thing. Right, so here he is, just standing up. He looks great, totally kills the look they were going for. So we want to take a quick look at the articulation. Starting with the arms, you get spins, everything spins. It's great. You get whatever direction you need that to go, it's going to happen. Elbow goes all the way up. Arm goes all the way up like that, so you can get him to grab the beam saber. Another one of those classic poses that this thing tries to go for. And so there's your arms. Head goes all the way back like that. You move the beam sabers out of the way, it spins all the way around. You can look at the legs. You get great bend out of the knees, and where the legs kind of have a problem is, unfortunately, the skirt armor kind of gets in the way a little bit, so you have to just get in there and move it out. So once you move it out, you can get a big kick forward like that. Sideways is pretty good, but the way the skirt armor is cut, and that's really just something to do with the design, doesn't really allow for the best posing out of the legs, but it does the job. You get foot rocks like that, all the way around. The leg spins to an extent, so you can get it to kind of go out like that. And that's pretty much all there is. You get the waist like that. It's pretty good as far as posing goes, so you'll be able to nail all those classic poses that this thing was designed for. But that's not really the main draw of this figure, so we're going to go take a look at the accessories and see all the cool stuff that it comes with. Right, so here's all the accessories that this guy comes with, and it's really great spread of things that all go along with the completely ridiculous nature of this figure. So first, starting off, probably the biggest standout thing that this figure comes with is this crazy curved beam saber blade that basically it's supposed to just it's like supposed to bring out that famous shot of the Gundam like jumping and landing with the beam saber kind of flying out behind him. So this nails that pose perfectly. It comes with an extra long handle for it, so it can support the little extra weight that it has, because it's a lot thicker and longer than your standard beam saber blade. So that works exactly how I'd expect. It comes with standard 2 beam saber blades that you normally get with any sort of Gundam related product, so you can do double beam sabers or just one beam saber, whichever you like. Comes with another energy effect part that is for the gun, and it's got like the fat end of it, and it just real easy, just pops right there into the beam rifle. It looks fantastic. It really nails the way that when the beam rifle fires in the show, the way they animate the energy coming out of it, they nailed that perfectly. As far as the beam rifle itself goes, it's your pretty standard Gundam beam rifle. The grip here slides back and forth. The sight slides back and forth. It's all molded in gray plastic other than the sight, which is the yellow paint on it. But it does the job. Moving on, again, standard shields. Nothing too crazy about it, but, you know, it looks good, does the job. It comes with an extra V-fin with effect parts to show the Gatling guns and the forehead shooting, and that's really cool. You really don't see that too much, so that's definitely a nice thing that it comes with. You get the standard Gundam bazooka. Looks exactly the way it should, usually how all of these bazookas look, but nothing wrong with that, exactly how it should be. And then, because of how expressive this figure is, they give you a good amount of different types of hands to use. And because there's a bunch of hands, they give you a nice hand rack to store them and organize them all. So you get pretty much everything you need, you know, different kinds of like splayed hands, open palms, just standard closed fists, beam saber hands, and trigger figure hands. So you can pretty much hold all of the accessories perfectly, and you can definitely point out the way the hands look, which goes along with the overall design of the figure. Is they have more of like a human hand like quality to them, which is the way all the mobile suits hands, almost all the mobile suits hands looked in the original show. They kind of looked not so much like a robot hand, which is what they were kind of going for, but due to like the way the animation was, that's just how it came out. So that's all the accessories it comes with, and it's definitely a good amount of stuff that gives you what you need to make this thing look great.
So basically what I'm saying is, I like it.
I'm just trying to find a better way to transition into the... Oh.